Do you think the only way to have a legal career is to become a lawyer? It's not. Are you a person who wants a career in law but doesn't necessarily want to go to law school? This video is for you. Contrary to popular belief, you can have a successful, challenging, and rewarding career in the field of law without actually expending the time, commitment, and expense of going to law school, getting a law degree, and becoming a lawyer. In the first installment of this two-part series, we're going to talk about 7 careers that you can have in the legal field without going to law school. If you're new here, hi, hello, my name is Angela. I am a practicing attorney. I have been practicing for about almost 9 years now. I spent my first 7 years in big law, and then I transitioned into an in-house role for a corporation, and I make videos about law school, lawyer life, and all things in between. As I mentioned in today's video, we're going to be talking about some no law degree, law career jobs, okay? Let's jump right in. First role I want to talk about is becoming a legal project manager. A legal project manager can mean a couple of things, and I've seen it most commonly. I've had the most exposure to it most commonly while working in a law firm. So I'm going to speak to it from a law firm perspective, but note there are kind of multiple paths you can go down within being a legal project manager. A legal project manager oversees and coordinates projects within a legal organization such as a law firm. They oversee the budget, the schedule, and all sorts of the inner workings of a project that a legal organization such as a law firm is trying to push forward. Their key responsibilities include managing timelines, deadlines for the projects at hand. They collaborate with key stakeholders of organizations, sometimes client outreach, to ensure that the project is on track and that they are getting all of the right input from all of the right people. Legal project managers also utilize certain tools to make sure that their processes and workflows within their project work streams are being carried out efficiently and promptly. As far as what skills you need to be a legal project manager, obviously you are going to need some organization skills. You're going to need good communication skills. Like I said, you will be communicating with key stakeholders within your organization. Of course, you will need project management skills because you're a project manager. As far as the legal part of what skills you'll need, it's just you'll really need an understanding of important legal processes, need an understanding of the legal organization that you are working for and working with in order to manage their projects. As far as what the requirements are, many legal project managers have a background in business. You don't necessarily need a background in law. The next role is a compliance officer. Compliance officers are really, really important for organizations. They essentially ensure that companies are adhering to the laws and regulations that is applicable to that company based on what industry they're in. They focus a lot on compliance with those laws and regulations in order to minimize legal risk, legal violations, lawsuits, and all of the things. So designing compliance programs based on the applicable laws and regulations that the company must adhere to, training the employees of the company on those programs. Compliance is going to be the department that is doing internal audits, so they will audit the company internally to make sure that the company is adhering to all of the applicable regulations and laws, and then from there they will refine, update, correct, train, do whatever is needed to make sure the company is adhering to those applicable laws and regulations at its highest capacity. So as far as skills needed, compliance officers usually kind of have a range of background. A lot of times they are in business. Some people might have majored in pre-law, but that's not necessarily required. Knowing your industry specific regulations and laws is what's going to be key. Also, just like lawyers, compliance officers have attention to detail. They have analytical thinking and reasoning skills. Those types of lawyer-esque skills are always going to come in handy. I've actually met plenty of lawyers. Who went on to do compliance type work, but again, a law degree is not required to be a compliance officer. While a law degree is not required, there are certain compliance certifications that people who are interested in that role can seek, so that would be something to look into. The next role is a paralegal. This role is one that is a lot more commonly thought of and commonly known when you think of no law degree legal careers. Paralegals essentially support attorneys in carrying out their legal matters, whether that be due diligence, legal research. A lot of times paralegals are drafting or assisting with drafting documents. They conduct filings. They do an array of legal type work without having to have that law degree because they are kind of working under the apprenticeship, if you will, of a lawyer. So the type of skills that a paralegal is going to need is that very similar of a lawyer. They're going to need research skills. They're going to need good communication skills, analytical skills, very good at client service, and just understanding the needs and supports of the legal organization and the lawyers that they are working with. In order to become a paralegal, of course, you don't need a law degree. You don't necessarily even need a bachelor's degree. Many paralegals do have a bachelor's degree. Some paralegals even have a law degree, but again, it's not required. There's also associate degrees you can get, as well as paralegal certifications. So there's an array of paths that paralegals go down in order to get to that paralegal role. So similar to a paralegal, a legal assistant essentially supports the attorneys, the paralegals, and the people within a legal organization. A lot of their tasks are going to be administrative in nature, and they'll help with the sort of day-to-day operations of the law firm, the lawyers, and even the paralegals. But that can range from some things that may not seem so legal focused to even legal focused. I've had some great assistants in the past, and they've really helped me just stay on track. They help me with entering my time, scheduling meetings, making sure my CELE is up to date. I mean, you name it. They really do a great job at supporting lawyers and paralegals and making sure that they are being most efficient in serving their clients, whether that be law firm clients or business clients, stakeholders, whoever. In order to be a legal assistant, the type of skills you want to have would be great organizational skills, good communication skills, attention to detail, and then also just proficiency in things like Excel, Microsoft Word, Outlook, all of those sorts of things that lawyers, paralegals, and other legal professionals use on a day-to-day basis to get their work done. So for a legal assistant, particularly one that's just starting out, there's not much requirements. Like, you don't have to have a bachelor's degree, although many do. Many have associate's degree. You can become a legal assistant right out of high school, and you're really going to get most of your training on the job, and you can build up from there. As you get more senior and then you start kind of moving around within your career, obviously more background, more experience is going to be required, especially if you're working with more experienced lawyers, but that training is really going to come on the job, which I think is great. The next role I want to talk about is a legal analyst. A legal analyst is basically what it sounds like. A legal analyst is someone who analyzes laws, regulations, cases, to help support attorneys in carrying out their matters and cases. Legal analysts do that research in order to help support attorneys' decision and what strategy they're going to use in their cases and matters and what kind of path they go down. So, for example, they'll research case law and use trends and how certain outcomes happen in different court proceedings to kind of determine what a lawyer's strategy should be in carrying out their cases. They'll also assist with reviewing contracts. They'll assist with compliance, regulatory analysis type things. But essentially, legal analysts do a lot of research to help lawyers with strategy. So as you might have guessed, type of skills you're going to need are similar to a lawyer is analytical skills, research skills, writing skills, because they do write reports, attention to detail, critical thinking, all the things that you hear about that you need as a lawyer are kind of on par when it comes to being a legal analyst. As far as what is needed to become one, I think a lot of it is going to be experience-based, and then many of them have bachelor's degrees or associate degrees that have sort of a relevant background, such as business, political science, pre-law, etc. The next role I want to talk about is a court reporter. Now, if you're like me and you like to watch online court proceedings, y'all know, like, ever since COVID, a lot of court proceedings are like on Zoom now, and they publish them on like YouTube. I don't know about y'all, but I love watching court proceedings online. They are so good to watch. And then also some of these high profile, high level cases like the YSL case, the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case are online. So some of you guys might be familiar with court reporters because you watch cases like I do. But basically, the court reporter is the person who sits there and transcribes the entire court proceedings. They type up a whole transcript of the court proceedings. So sometimes if you guys watch these cases, you'll hear the judge say, can you state that or restate that or something like that for the record, because the court reporter is typing this up. When you hear for the record, that's what they're meaning. They're making a record, a transcript of the court proceedings. So obviously, if you're going to be a court reporter, the type of skills you're going to need is really ability to use the stenography equipment. You're going to need great listening skills. You're going to need to be a very fast typer, and you're going to really have to be able to pay attention and hold your attention, because these court proceedings can drag, okay? They can drag. And not all of them are as exciting as the Johnny Depp Amber Heard or the YSL case. As far as what is needed to be a court reporter, there actually are training programs and certifications that you can get in order to become a court reporter. The next and final role I'm going to discuss in this video is a title examiner. So this is for my people who are into real estate law, but you don't necessarily want to be a lawyer and you don't want to be a realtor either. You can be a title examiner. So title examiners essentially review public records, legal documents, deeds, all these things to determine ownership and legal status of real property. So for example, if you have closed on a home, whether that be your residential home or if you're into real estate and you invest in real estate, you know there's usually a closing, and a part of that closing is working with the title company, and you get this thing called a title commitment where it kind of lists all the things that have to do with the property at hand. So sometimes you'll see, oh, there's a lien on the property, or X person sold property to Y person on X date via a special warranty deed or a quit claim deed or whatever. The title examiners are the ones who are preparing these title commitments to determine and verify ownership of real property. So in order to do this, they are researching those deed records, they research mortgage records, they research liens, encumbrances, all those things to verify ownership and legal status of properties. And then they create reports about the ownership history. So to become a title examiner, there's not like any rigid requirements or anything that I'm aware of. However, many people typically have some sort of real estate background, or maybe they were a paralegal, they were in law and tangentially, and then they go on to work for the title company. Or some people just come in and kind of work their way into that via on-the-job training. So there you have it. Those are 7 no law degree legal career type jobs that you can look into if you have an interest in a legal career, but you're not necessarily wanting to go to law school and becoming a lawyer. Now, one caveat or disclaimer that I want to give in this video is that obviously I didn't go into major detail. This is a very high level view of those careers. But if you heard something that piqued your interest, I challenge you and encourage you to look into that career and see if it might be for you. You know, whether that be a new career, maybe some of you guys are high school grads, college grads, in college right now, and trying to determine what you want to do, or you're already in your career but you're looking to make a pivot. These are the types of things that you can look into if you want to be in the legal field. With that, you guys, we're going to go ahead and close out the video. I will discuss some more no law degree law jobs in the next video, so make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Make sure you hit the like button for the algorithm, and comment down below and let me know what you thought about the jobs. If you have any experience in the jobs that I talked about, or if you have additional input, we'd love to hear it. We are a community over here. Speaking of community, we do have the Aspiring Lawyers group on Facebook that you can join and collaborate with other folks on their legal journey, whether that be pre-law, in-law, post-law. We got them all. So go ahead and check that out. Also, make sure you are following me on Instagram, where I post weekly content on there as well. Also, I still have a few of you reaching out to me via email about my one-on-one consultations. The link to those consultations are below. Disclaimer, these consultations are not me providing any sort of legal advice. It's really a chance for me to talk to you one-on-one about your legal journey. We have options for different stages of your journey. If you have an option for if you are pre-law, we have an option for if you're admitted into law school and you're trying to, you know, navigate law school, and then we have a special option for my folks who want one-on-one strategy when it comes to preparing for law school finals, because those finals are no joke, but we also know good grades can open up plenty of doors in law school. With that, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.